Have you ever wanted to automate refilling your air gardens or other countertop gardens? This might be an interesting idea for you. These air garden bounties only hold about a little over a gallon to 1.5 gallons, somewhere in that neighborhood, which is not a whole lot. You'll find that after your plants start to grow, they are consuming a lot more water than you would think. And it's a chore to top those off, especially as you get more gardens. So for right now, on one of the shelves that I have elevated a 3.5 gallon bucket. And what I did was I drilled a 10 millimeter hole into the side of the bucket. This is a 1/4 inch rubber grommet, and the 1/4 inch tubing just pushes through it and it forms a watertight seal. Different tubing has different dimensions on the outside and inside. This is a 100-foot roll of 1/4 inch tubing from a company called Autopot, and it fits quite nicely with a lot of standard plumbing attachments. One of the other things that I picked up is this Sharkbite fitting. It's a on-off valve, and this is the off position. You turn it inline, and it goes into an on position. So since the bucket is higher than the air gardens, everything is gravity feed. It just runs downhill, and even if there's a little bit of a belly in that line, even though it's below the bucket, it will go down and come back up since the bucket's higher. And I took a common part that you would find with micro irrigation and teed that off, using that fitting. And that's something you can pick up at hardware stores in micro irrigation. On each sides of that tee I just showed you, I came over and I put in a three-way connector. And this is Sharkbite as well. And it's very simple to put together as well as take apart. And so I have one tube that goes up to the garden on top and one tube that goes to the garden on the bottom. Where that tubing comes to the gardens, I have another Sharkbite fitting, and that goes from the tubing to the float valve below, which is a Hudson valve. And I picked up some of these plastic washers, and I just put that on because I wanted to help keep that valve as high as possible on the underside of the decks. On the two upper gardens, I used the same basic fitting, but I used it in a 90 because I wanted to keep that close and redirect the tubing, where it doesn't stick up as much on the top side. What's on the underside is a 1/4 inch Hudson valve. And this Hudson valve is a float valve, and it's very small, and that just sits right underneath. And as the water level comes up, that float valve comes up and stops and keeps the water level where I want it. On the side of the Hudson valves is a screw, and if you turn it counterclockwise, it raises the water level. And if you turn it the opposite direction, it will lower the water level. And so I've used that to tweak things just a little bit. And too high, you're going to end up with your water level coming up like right here where it's near the top. And so if you get that adjusted correctly, it's going to look more like what you see here. There's that fill line right there, and the water is right up to where it's at, which is helpful for plants such as the cucumber that you see here that drinks a lot of water. But since plants will typically drink more than they eat, it works out very nicely, for what I like to do. And I could vary my nutrient schedule according to the gardens and the plants. And while I could set another system up, using buckets instead of air gardens, for cost savings, personally I do like to run something like this over to the air gardens because they have the ability to tell me how many days I have a crop planted on the front display, how much time I have left until I need to add nutrients. I could set the light on vacation mode. I can do other things as well. And so it gives me a lot more ability to tweak my systems and do more than just a standard bucket that I would grow in. That is what I'm doing right now, and it worked so well with the peppers on the bottom right there that I brought the line over and did all 4 of those gardens. And I may end up putting a larger reservoir to supplement topping off the water for all those. But for right now, this has been a very successful endeavor for me. And I just wanted to be able to share this with anybody else who might be looking to do the same thing.